The town lay nestled in a deep valley, cloaked by shadows from the surrounding mountains, a town cursed by the full moon, where people vanished into thin air. In the 1800s, a preacher arrived, claiming he had visions of a curse that would fall on Willow's Hollow where she found a diary belonging to one of the town's early residents. But as she read further, her heart pounded. Night of the full moon, Amelia's investigation took a dangerous turn, as she sensed something lurking just beyond the window, an inhuman presence watching her. The room felt suffocating, the air thick with dread. Then, a knock sounded on her door. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel today. I have one more horror and creepy story for you, so stop wasting of time and let's start this story. Amelia Foster's hands tightened around the wheel as her car wound up the narrow road toward Willow's Hollow. The town lay nestled in a deep valley, cloaked by shadows from the surrounding mountains and shrouded in mist that clung to the night air. She'd heard tales of this isolated place, a town cursed by the full moon, where people vanished into thin air. As an investigative journalist, Amelia had reported on strange happenings before, but this time, her instincts told her that something darker lingered in Willow's Hollow. She intended to uncover it. The town itself was a picture of Gothic desolation, its streets empty, and its buildings bearing the weary look of something forgotten. She parked and walked through the town square, her footsteps echoing in the silence. A few people glanced her way, their faces tight with unease. Amelia could feel their fear simmering just beneath their guarded expressions. The whispers had already reached her. "Outsiders don't belong here," one old woman muttered as Amelia passed. But she was undeterred. She'd spent her career ignoring warnings, and this town's secrets would be no exception. That night, her investigation began in earnest. She visited local shops, chatted with townsfolk who quickly shut down any questions about the disappearances, and finally found herself outside the home of the young girl who had vanished just a few weeks prior. The girl's mother spoke in quiet, fragmented sentences, eyes darting nervously toward the window. "It's the moon's shadow," she whispered. "It takes them every full moon." The next day, Amelia visited the town library. It was there she met Mr. Gray, an elderly historian with a cautious demeanor and eyes that seemed to hold secrets as old as the town itself. He led her into the archives, reluctantly pulling out a dusty tome of Willow's Hollow's history. "The story goes back to the town's founding," he said in a low voice. "In the 1800s, a preacher arrived, claiming he had visions of a curse that would fall on Willow's Hollow under every full moon. The people laughed, said he was mad. But then he vanished, and soon, others began to disappear as well." As Amelia thumbed through the brittle pages, she felt a chill seep into her bones. She learned that every few decades, people had disappeared under similar circumstances. Each time, their bodies were never found, and each disappearance coincided with the full moon. Mr. Gray explained the town's superstition, a soul to balance the sins of the past. He said gravely, the words resonating like an ominous chant. Intrigued and unnerved, Amelia continued her search through old journals, where she found a diary belonging to one of the town's early residents. Its pages were filled with cryptic symbols and chilling descriptions of strange rituals performed by the town's founders. The final entry hinted at a ritual designed to unbind the moon's hold. This could be her key, Amelia realized. But as she read further, her heart pounded. The diary warned of dire consequences for anyone who tried to interfere with the cycle. On the night of the full moon, Amelia's investigation took a dangerous turn. As she gathered her notes in her small motel room, she sensed something lurking just beyond the window, an inhuman presence watching her. The room felt suffocating, the air thick with dread. Then, a knock sounded on her door. It was Mr. Gray. "If you want to break this curse, you'll need to follow me. But be warned, there is no going back from this." They hurried through the empty streets to the old church where the preacher had once held his sermons. Inside, the atmosphere was dense with decay, the floorboards creaking underfoot. They found an altar carved with strange symbols, untouched by time. The final piece of the ritual was a chant meant to disrupt the curse. But as they began, Amelia felt a dark energy push back, an invisible force that clawed at her skin, screaming for them to stop. Just as she finished the chant, the darkness surged, and Amelia felt herself slipping away. She saw, in a flash of visions, the terrible truth. Willow's Hollow was built on blood. The town's founders had once sacrificed travelers to save themselves from a deadly plague, binding the souls of the innocent to protect their descendants. Each full moon, the curse demanded a life to keep the town safe, a cycle of death to repay an ancient debt. As the final words of the ritual fell from her lips, Amelia collapsed, the air around her still and silent. The curse had been lifted. When she opened her eyes, Mr. Gray helped her up, his face pale but relieved. "It's over," he whispered. For the first time in living memory, a full moon had passed without anyone vanishing. Amelia left Willow's Hollow the next day, but the memory of the town's dark history lingered. She knew she would write the story, but no article could capture the unsettling truth of what she had uncovered. As her car left the valley, she glanced in her rearview mirror one last time, seeing the outline of the town disappearing into the mist. Deep down, she wondered if the curse was ever truly broken, or if Willow's Hollow simply waited for the next soul brave enough to confront it. And somewhere, in the silence of the valley, the shadows of those lost to the curse lingered, whispering secrets only the moon could hear. I hope you like this video. If you like this video, then click like button and subscribe my channel for more interesting videos. And on which topic I should post my next video, tell me in the comment box. Okay guys, see you tomorrow with new interesting video. Okay guys, bye bye.